And isn't that interesting? Look at that. Right now, as we speak, you don't need to watch it. I'll tell you everything you need to know about it. Karl Rove is on Fox talking to Gretchen Carlson, explaining the GOP has just launched a website to explain a potential contested convention. You want me to translate that for you? The GOP has just launched a website to explain to you how it is possible that Jeb Bush could be the nominee. Or how it's possible that Paul Ryan could be the nominee. Or how it's possible that anybody not running in the primary right now could be the nominee. Now, this is the first I'm hearing of this. I did not know it until I just saw the graphic on Fox. So I am kind of guessing here, educated guess. But I think what this is about, because Rove is holding up his little whiteboard right now with the number 1237 on it. So what I think is going to happen here, I think basically I'm going to be right. They're going to explain to you on this website how, if nobody gets to 1,237, that it's wide open. They're going to explain how, hey, in a contested convention, if neither of the candidates in the primary process gets to 1,237, essentially those candidates could effectively be considered as losers already. They have been rejected by voters since neither of them, whatever, got to 1,237. We could interpret this as the voters having spoken in a democratic fashion and telling us that they don't want any of them. Look, it's not hard to figure out. These are the people, they own this institution. The GOP, they own the convention, and they own their position in the establishment. And I guarantee this little thing that happened with Trump last night, they decided, oh, this is big. This couldn't have been better timed. This abortion and Chris Matthews. You might think the GOP establishment, oh, no, they're going to get... No, they're not looking at it that way at all. They're going, right on. They think it's going to disqualify Trump and make it easier to deny him the nomination if he doesn't get to 1237. Don't doubt me on this stuff. Again, I'm just educated guessing. Here's another. Tech CEOs and top Republicans plot to stop Trump at secretive meeting. Well, we know that happened. The New York Times had a story on that meeting. That strategy, that secret strategy to deny Trump actually starts with the Wisconsin primary. It's a 100-day plan. I read about it. I saw it in the New York Times. That's like seeing it on TV. Speaking of which, from the Wisconsin State Journal, Texas Senator Ted Cruz has leaped ahead of Donald Trump in Wisconsin, while Bernie Sanders has an edge over Hillary Clinton, according to the latest Marquette Law School poll. It was released yesterday. The poll comes less than a week after Wisconsin's presidential primary, less than a week before it. 957 likely voters. Cruz is at 40%. Trump is at 30%. Kasich is at 21%. And Bernie Sanders held a 49 to 45 lead over Hillary among likely Democrat voters. This poll was conducted March 24th to 28th. Again, 957 likely voters, not registered, but likely. That means people will give it a lot of weight. Now, the last Marquette Law School poll in February showed Trump with a double-digit lead in Wisconsin. But the landscape has changed immensely since then. The poll was taken before Marco Rubio and Ben Carson dropped out of the race. Now, in the days before the poll was taken, Trump and Cruz engaged in a pitched battle involving the physical appearance of their wives. I'm just reading this to you from the Wisconsin newspaper. Other polls out in the past week show a tightening race, though unlike the Marquette poll, they use automated calls and don't attempt to call cell phones, according to Marquette poll director Charles Franklin. The anti-Trump forces are pulling out all the stops. That's not a statement of support or condemnation either. I'm just reading a sentence to you. And on the Democrat side, of course, it's much closer. Now, how many expected Trump to win Wisconsin? If Trump wins Wisconsin, you could make a mathematical case that he would get to 1237. But if he doesn't win Wisconsin, it's going to get harder to get to 1237. And who knows whether incidents like last night with Chris Matthews are going to dampen support from Trumpists for Trump. I ran a little market survey. I know some Trumpists. And I asked them today, I said, this thing bother you last night? Nah, doesn't matter. It doesn't? Nah, doesn't matter. Well, what about it's not looking good in Wisconsin? I mean, you guys had a double-digit lead in Wisconsin. Now you're down double-digit. We're never going to win Wisconsin. Yes, you were. You had a double-digit lead in Wisconsin, I told them. Well, no, we're not going to win Wisconsin. Well, how are you going to get to 1237 then? Well, you wait, see what we do in New York. This is a very important outcome in Wisconsin for getting to 1237, because I'm here to tell you, I don't care who you're for. If you're for Trump, if you're Kasich, if you're for Cruz, the establishment is trying to assemble a mechanism here where none of those three end up being the nominee, folks. So if you're a cruiser and you are happy today, thinking your chances have been reinvigorated because of Trump having stepped in it on abortion last night, you got to get to 1237 to stop whatever the establishment's going to pull at the convention. And by the way, have you heard this statistic being bandied about? Try this. See if you've heard this. A bunch of pro-contested convention people are running around pointing out. We even had this stat, I think, yesterday or the day before. In the last 10 contested conventions, the nominee only came from the list of candidates in the primaries in 3 of them. In other words, 7 of the last 10 contested conventions chose somebody who had not run. And they're out there using that stat, the pro-contested convention crowd, in order to give them support and to tell you, hey, it's not unusual what we're plotting here. Hey, it's happened before. Hey, don't sweat it. It wouldn't be anything extraordinary or out of the normal if somebody that didn't run was chosen as the nominee. The Associated Press has a story here that frustrated Republicans grappled with new fears about Donald Trump's impact on their party Wednesday, as the billionaire businessman's campaign rivals targeted his punitive plan for fighting abortion and extraordinary defense of his campaign manager, who police say assaulted a female reporter. Concern rippled through Republican circles nationwide, yet few dared criticize Trump directly when asked to, leery of confronting the man who may well lead their election ticket in November. So this story from the AP is about all of these Republicans out there who are supposedly petrified over what happened to Trump in this abortion fiasco on MSNBC. And they're very, very worried now that their nominee may be forever tainted, but they don't have the guts to say so because they're afraid of what Trump will do to them if they criticize him. And that's not what they're thinking. I'm telling you, they're privately gleeful. They're not worried because they don't think Trump's going to be the nominee. They really don't. I'm telling you right here, the establishment boys, and I say that generically, the establishment gang, I think, is pretty confident within themselves that Trump's not going to be the nominee. I think they're telling themselves that nobody's going to get to 1237. Now, I know you've probably heard people say, well, it doesn't matter, Rush. It's going to be Trump or Cruz. I mean, they're 2 top vote getters. It's got to be Trump or Cruz, even if neither of them gets 1237. No. It doesn't have to be Trump or Cruz. Just listen to these contested convention guys talk. They don't include Cruz in any of their plans, and Cruz is the number 2 guy. If Trump doesn't get to 1237, it's tough for Cruz to. Although his supporters think that there is a path for him to do it, it would require Kasich maybe exiting. But the point is, when you listen to contested convention crowd on the Republican Party talk about what would happen, they don't include Cruz in their list of that's because they don't. That's why I am pretty confident in believing that their intention is to choose somebody that has either already lost and exited the primaries or somebody who never got in them, a la Paul Ryan. But if the news is that you're a Republican establishment guy and you really hate Trump, you're just worried as how Trump's going to destroy the party, Trump's this, Trump's that, can't have Trump, Trump's horrible, and it looks like Trump's not going to get there, then you go, wow, K, that means Cruz. No, they don't want Cruz either. And they don't include Cruz's name in any of these lists of potential nominees if they go the contested route.